So this one over here is a client onboarding automation. At the moment we onboard a client and we move them to the active status, we create campaign one, two, three. I'm actually going to make this four so that we create four campaigns for the client. These are campaign tasks so that we can do them later in the future. And you'll see the automations that are associated with that later on. We also grab their engagement folder and we create a bunch of communication tasks. And so these in brackets, so 1, 3, 6, 10, these are the due dates. So on day one, we send them an email that says, hey, we purchased a bunch of domains. This is an example of what that email would look like. It would basically be like, hey, first name, the first batch of domains is live, and boom, 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 boom. You may visit each of the domains. They redirect to your main domain, and we essentially put all of their domains here, and then we say upcoming. And so all of this stuff is manually updated inside our ClickUp account. But on day one, we send them this. On day three, we send them a login. On day six, we send them a new sample lead. On day 10, we send them a video email telling them that we're launching soon. So that is the first one, onboarding stuff. Some more onboarding stuff over here. This one essentially searches them in Stripe, adds the Stripe details, creates the Clay folders inside Clay, removes them from the newsletters, creates engagement docs for us to collaborate in, smart lead stuff, smart lead folders, smart lead scripts, smart lead subsequence templates. We're basically just trying to streamline the collaboration. And so rather than spending 30 minutes to an hour trying to onboard a client, we just do it in 2 minutes. So this is the next automation. This one over here is a client comms automation. And so when we go back to the first one over here, where I had shown that we are crafting some email drafts, those email drafts essentially go into ClickUp, where we are then able to edit them. And when we edit them, it gets the tasks and then it sends the email over to the client like this, right? And if we're sending a performance report, it's able to search our ClickUp to get the leads inside ClickUp and then aggregate them to determine how many leads we've got and then send them a report. And if they're a consulting client, we're able to do that as well. Send them how many meetings they have left. And then this is the step 2 automation. What you had seen previously is the step 3 automation. Step 2 meaning a test email to ourselves so that we verify it prior to sending to the client. And then step 3 is going to the client directly. And then boom, this one is a HubSpot automation. And so the moment a DocuSign is sent, it essentially grabs the deal from HubSpot, and then it changes the deal status. And so it goes from meeting booked, meeting held, proposal sent, and then it creates a task, which is basically like follow up with hot deal, just like a day, 2 days later. This is what the tasks look like. Yeah, follow up with hot deal. Boom. That's the proposal one. And then this one over here is weekly tasks. So on a weekly basis, we're creating a campaign task. So brand new campaign for the client. We're creating a client communication task. So this is going to be a weekly report. And then we are also, actually, no, yeah, this is the same thing. And then we're also searching up the renewal dates. So inside Stripe, we're able to grab that. And then we're able to notify ourselves if a client does not have a renewal date. If they do, we're able to update it inside ClickUp. And then we're also able to, actually, that's about it. We updated the renewal date. And then boom, this one over here grabs the campaign analytics from Smart Lead and then adds them into ClickUp. It also does a few other things. It notifies us for any campaigns that do not have a client set up. And it also adds them to a client store so that when we do switch the client within Smart Lead, it also changes it automatically across all of the tech stack. So Clay, ClickUp, etc. We also randomize some campaign analytics. We log into Clay, update the Clay tables to match the Smart Lead tables. So if we switch a Smart Lead table name to XYZ, it also switches inside Clay in addition to Smart Lead. And then we also add the analytics there. So boom, that's the other one. Create campaign and Clay table. This is a part of our campaign creation process. And so what this does is it grabs the campaign details inside ClickUp, logs into Smart Lead, creates the campaign, updates the schedule, up campaign settings, email accounts, all of that stuff. And then boom, reflects that stuff back into ClickUp for us. And then this right here at the bottom is essentially adding the subsequence to the campaigns. And so if the campaign does not have a subsequence, we're able to grab from the subsequence template that we got from the onboarding automation. And then this is the offboarding automation. Essentially, what this does is it searches up Smartly to find out whether the client ID still exists. And so if the client ID no longer exists, we know that they've been offboarded. That's the trigger for us. And then from that point, we essentially stop the list building tasks, delete the campaign creation tasks, delete the client comms task, the domain tasks. We give ourselves tasks to deactivate them. Sales funnel, boom, 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 boom. That's how that works. And then this one over here, notification for new engaged lead. So when a positive reply comes through, if it's owned by us, we are essentially able to create that contact as a deal so that we can follow up with them. We also have a two-way sync going on so that all of the communication that's happening inside Smart Lead is also inside HubSpot, but we create that there. Alternatively, if we need to notify the client, we notify them in their notification platform of choice. So that's Gmail, Slack, Ring Central. If we get someone that wants to do Google Chat, we'll accommodate that, WhatsApp, etc. That's how we do it. Oh, and by the way, this is a step 2 automation. In the middle layer, we're enriching the leads with mobile numbers, with LinkedIn URLs, with all of this stuff. And so as we've enriched them, we also add that information back into Smart Lead so that we also have a clean Smart Lead workspace. This is the step 1 automation of what you had just seen. This one grabs that information. If it's a subsequence, the subsequence are usually not going to have a client. We search for the client on the subsequence so that we can then look up for the client to know which client we're going to be notifying. And then we do that. Boom, 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 boom. If it's a do not contact, we add them to a block list across all mediums. If it's a reply to an email thread, we would be able to notify the client across all of these different tools. And then this is basically just editing our leads database and sending it to Clay. And so what I was talking about with the enrichment, that's all happening in Clay. Boom, watch all email replies, notify if it's in a thread. So if it's in a thread, we do the same thing that you had just seen before, but this time around, we are essentially just notifying ourselves. So we don't notify clients for thread replies, we just notify ourselves. And so this is just much simpler. It's like, hey, here's a thread reply. And then at the very end over here, we're getting the lead and then pausing the lead in all campaigns so that we don't follow up with them anywhere else. Boom. This one is campaigns inside Airtable. So this is just getting some analytics for us to be able to visualize the data with trends, charts, graphs, etc. I've just found Airtable to be better for that. The reason I don't go fully in with Airtable is because I just prefer ClickUp as an all-in-one workspace with the docs, with the whiteboards, with the task management system. The way that Airtable is set up as a project management tool first aligns better with me. That being said, I have recommended to many people to just go with Airtable because I do think Airtable is great. And I use Airtable too for just visualizing some data. However, if Smart Lead Analytics comes out, the new analytics that are coming out, if those are better than this Airtable, I'm definitely going to scrap this automation because it is delayed by 1 day. This over here is the Chrome extension analytics. It basically just looks across our entire tech stack, tells us which tasks we need to do. So HubSpot tasks, we've got 0 HubSpot tasks. As you can see, no tasks. ClickUp, we would be able to know client funnel, all of that stuff. So it allows us to very easily know which tasks we need to do across our entire tech stack, and we just add it in here inside our tool. And currently, we're not sending any emails or Slack notifications to ourselves. We're just relying on the thing, but that's how we would be able to do it. This one, delete campaigns that don't exist in Smart Lead. And so since we're monitoring, we have all of the campaigns in Smart Lead. If we delete them in Smart Lead, we also want to delete them in ClickUp. Sync lead categorization with client funnel status. And so if the lead category changes inside Smart Lead, we also want to change it inside ClickUp. And we also want to be able to delete a deal that was improperly categorized. This one, add email contact of the attending customer and update a meeting. And so inside meetings that are booked on my calendar, we are essentially able to identify whether the people on the meeting are coming from Smart Lead or coming from any other source. And so if they're coming from Smart Lead, rather than being on the meeting with Noel at Afonto.com, we would put them at Noel at Afonto.co or go@afonto.co. So the person who sent them an email, this way, if they want to do some research, they would be able to do that research and that stuff. And there's also a few other things going on. This one, check meeting disposition them no show or no show. This one is basically sending us a notification inside Slack, and we just need to check it no show, show. And then it goes into the step 2 automation, which if it's a show, it's going to essentially update the meeting status inside HubSpot. If it's a no-show, we create a task and all of that stuff. And we also change it to the specific category, meeting held. And so, boom, next one, inbound form submission. And so we have newsletter, which just goes, which enriches the leads. So if we have an email, we enrich them with the first name so that we can send them an email in the newsletter that's personalized. And then a new inbound form. If it's a different type of form, we would basically be able to create a deal and do all of this other stuff. And then this one, watch and enrich new candidate applications. So we have a careers page. If someone applies to that careers page, we're able to create a task inside HubSpot to essentially review their submission. Watch deal stage changes. And so if a deal is won, we notify ourselves. If a deal is lost, we create a task. Actually, we delete the task. If a deal is these, like we're basically just making some updates to deals. This one is backing up all of the scenarios. As you can see, I've got 39 active automations, 76 that are archived, a whole bunch of them that are free. We just want to have a backup for these automations in case something goes wrong. Activate new inboxes. So after the 2-week warm-up period, this is getting the email accounts, updating the email accounts, updating the warm-up statuses and all of that stuff. This one, add new inboxes and domains to ClickUp to begin warm-up. And so the moment an inbox comes through inside ClickUp, inside SmartLead, we essentially want to update the warm-up settings, and we also want to add the warm-up end date to link it with this one over here so that the warm-ups are set up correctly, timely, and adjusted accordingly. Backup campaign sequences. And so same thing with the backup campaign scenarios. If we accidentally delete a campaign, there's no way to recover it at the moment. But if we do a backup campaign sequences, we're able to retrieve deleted campaigns easily. We don't retrieve the analytics, but we retrieve everything else because all of that stuff is stored in ClickUp. Sync campaign categories with status and notify if there's no subsequence. And so the moment we update a campaign status to closed, archived, stopped, whatever, it updates it across our entire tech stack. And in addition to that, if there's no subsequence, it adds the subsequence there. And it does a few other things over here, like moving it to the SmartLead folder, etc. Next up over here, we are basically doing, we just went through this one, update campaign task with no status. Yeah, this is basically the same thing. No client, it does that. No subsequence, it adds that, a bunch of other stuff. So these are coming into different places. One of them is triggered by the campaign status changing. Another one is triggered by a different thing. So all of this stuff. Delete old leads in SmartLead. As you may already know, SmartLead charges based on the number of leads inside your account. And so if you've got 60,000, you're paying 100 and something. You get 200, 300, 400,000. You're going to start paying a lot of money. So this is basically deleting all of the inactive leads that are in campaigns that we no longer use. This way we can save some money on SmartLead. Limit sending capacity to 1,000 emails per day. This one basically looks at all the clients, all of the emails we've sent. If it's over 1,000, rather if it's over the limit, so some clients have a limit of 2,000, we pause the client, we pause the analytics. We also want to add the analytics inside ClickUp, Slack, all of that stuff. This one is restoring the analytics, the campaigns that were paused on the very next day. This one is creating a free email template. And so this email template creates essentially a doc that's fully personalized to the company. And it also creates a HubSpot landing page for the client. This one is the extension submissions. And so whenever we are like creating a lead magnet, finding an email address, adding a subsequence, all of that stuff, it's coming into this one over here. And then this one over here is the step 1 of the free email templates, validate and replace API key. This one essentially finds the API key and then just switches it across all of the tech stack, automate out of office responses. And so whenever we get an out of office categorization, we respond back to them automatically so that we maximize the leads that we are contacting. Boom.